You want to pay off your house faster? That's great. And there's a lot of different advice out there on the internet about how to do it. Do I make an extra payment every month? Do I do bi-weekly payments? What's the best thing to do? And I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all answer. But it's really important because over a 30-year mortgage, sometimes people end up paying more interest than the entire balance on their original loan. So we're going to talk about every way that I know to do it. My name's Cash. I've been a lender for a little over 7 years, helped close to 400 families, and I've helped and talked about a lot of different strategies with clients, including one I bet you never have heard of. And a lot of these you can start implementing today, so let's dive into it. Quick thing that you need to understand first, because it explains everything else, is that when you get a mortgage, the interest is entirely front-loaded. And you can look at a traditional amortization schedule and see that. Your early years of payments are almost going entirely to interest with only a small little trickle going into your principal. And over time, as you make those payments, you start to see the tables turned. But the crazy part is, if you go off of a standard 30-year fixed, you don't even pay off half of your loan until the 22nd year. Because a lot of people always focus on interest rate, but really time is the most valuable tool when it comes to paying less interest. And if you've bought a house, you know if you ever go look at your payment, especially those first few months of having it, how little is going toward the principal. Kind of gets depressing until you look around and realize you own it. So every method that we're going to talk about is doing the same thing. It's attacking down principal, attacking that early so that less money leaks out as interest. And the simplest one, and it seems like common sense, is just pay extra towards the principal. A lot of servicers on their online portals will have a section where it says apply more of a payment towards principal. Strategy I recommend for a lot of my clients is round up to the nearest hundredth. So if your payment is $3,900, round up to $4,000. If you pay over the phone, you just let your servicer know, hey, I would like to make an extra principal payment. Now the downside about paying more towards your principal is usually your money gets locked into your house and it's only accessible by either a refinance or doing a HELOC. The second method, and it's great, is make bi-weekly payments. But there's a caveat here because not every servicer applies it the same way. Some servicers, you will make that payment and they'll hold the money until you make the rest of the payment without applying it towards your principal. So if you're going to choose to do this, you want to make sure that that extra payment that you're making is going to be going towards principal that day. And really the math is that there's 26 bi-weeks in a year. So if you make a bi-weekly payment over the course of the year, you're going to pay one extra month per year. And that leads me to my next one, is pay one extra month per year. One strategy that I recommend is divide your monthly payment by 12 and keep 1/12 of that every single month in a high yield savings account. At the end of the year, go and apply that high yield savings account, that 1 month payment, entirely towards principal. There's a lot of things out there that say that if you do this, you'll pay off your house about 6 to 7 years early. So we've talked about a lot of different strategies and they all are great, but they all have one problem associated with them. When you make that principal payment, it locks the money inside your house. And the only way for you to get it out is either by doing a cash out refinance or a HELOC, which inquire fees. So if you've paid all this money towards your house and all of a sudden your car dies or your kid needs to go to college or anything like that, you have to pay money to get that money out. It's almost like a catch-22. So a lot of self-disciplined people actually choose to do the opposite. They put the least amount in their house that makes them comfortable with their monthly payment. Because having reserves or cash available on hand when you need it is something that is priceless. So people get stuck. It's either paying down their principal and paying less interest or trapping away their money in their house. But what if there was a way that you could pay down the principal, pay less interest, but keep access to that money? And that's where the all-in-one loan comes in. So in plain English, the all-in-one loan is a first position HELOC combined with an integrated full sweep checking account. And really, the magic of this is that more money will flow through someone's checking account on average than the entire balance of their house in a 5-year period. And the all-in-one loan is built on a 30-year draw, except for in Texas, it's a 25-year draw. So for the first 10 years of that loan, you have access to the full draw limit. And then after that, it reduces by 1/240th until the 30th year when they want it closed out. And where the power really comes from and why it's different than making a principal payment is that checking account. Because the money goes into your checking account and immediately sweeps over and pays down your mortgage. So if you make $10,000 for the month, that money, as soon as it's deposited, goes over and pays down your mortgage $10,000. The interest is calculated daily as opposed to monthly like a traditional loan. So every single day that you let that money sit in your account, you are paying that much less in interest. And then attached to your house, you have a debit card, checks, and bill pay like a traditional checking account that when you go to Starbucks, $7 and you buy a coffee for $7, your mortgage will now go up $7. And the power of this is that with that money flowing through your checking account, you are able to pay down your house dramatically faster, and in a lot of cases save hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. So if your car dies or your furnace breaks or you want to go on a big vacation, you have access to the money at any time. And that's what makes it different. All of these methods are great options. It's just one, to me, stands out above the rest. Now, I'm not going to pretend that it's free and there's no downsides to the loan, so let's dive into those. First, the rate is variable. It's a fixed margin on top of the SOFR rate, which stands for Secured Overnight Financing Rate. This rate trends with the federal funds rate, and then you lock in a fixed margin of 2.5 to 4% above that SOFR rate. And this loan isn't for everyone. We have tighter qualification requirements. You have to have a lower debt to income. You have to have reserves or money in the bank after closing in order to qualify, and at least a 700 credit score. Because this loan is not for everyone. If you don't have positive cash flow, if you're living paycheck to paycheck or spending more than you make, this loan is not for you. And we won't even put you in it. This loan's designed for the disciplined saver who keeps more money than they spend. And if that's you, it's worth looking into. And if it's not you, that's okay too. Those other options that we talked about are still great methods to save interest on your home. So we went through a lot of different stuff: rounding up your mortgage payment, bi-weekly payments, paying one extra principal payment per month, or the all-in-one. The first three are easy. You don't have to refinance. You don't have to do anything in order to start implementing that today. But if the all-in-one loan is something that sounds good for you and your situation, you can go to the link in my bio, schedule a free call, or hop on our interactive simulator, play around with it, and see if it's right for you. There's no pressure. I'm here to help however you need. If you have any questions, we can unpack those on the call, or you can always follow me on Instagram at Cash Loans, send me an email, or text our team phone number. We're here to help however we can. Thanks for watching.